Later this year in September, Melissa and I are going to be embarking on a great Norwegian fjord adventure, flying from Orlando to London and then transferring to Southampton, where we will enjoy some great food at the Pret a Manger. Then the following morning we will board the beautiful Celebrity Silhouette and begin our cruise, with our first stop being in Bergen, Norway. Bergen is Norway's second largest city and its former capital. On a Norwegian scale, it's a large city, but it's one with a small town charm and atmosphere. It was founded more than 900 years ago, and it has roots in the Viking Age and beyond. For several hundred years, it was a center of prosperous trade, especially in Bergen, there on the waterfront. Those beautiful old buildings remind me of some that we saw in Copenhagen. There's beautiful shopping. The business district is a great place to explore. They have a hop-on, hop-off bus, so you can tour the city, or you can just explore these beautiful streets. There's also a funicular railway that takes you up to the top of Mount Fløyen, where you can have a beautiful panoramic view of the city. It's just a very interesting city and lots to see. That's the cruise ship down there on the right, if you just noticed. Only takes about 10 minutes to get to the top on that funicular railway, but then the views are great once you're up there. Our next stop is Flume. Flume is located right at the end of a branch of the world's deepest and second longest fjord. It's 121 miles long and 4,291 feet deep. Once you land in the village, it's just a short walk to the small hotels, restaurants, and shopping of the village and the Flume Railway. The Flume train is the main attraction, and it's one of the steepest railway lines in the entire world. The ride is on a 55% gradient on over 80% of the route, and so it's pretty steep in most areas. It has tunnels that spiral in and out of mountains. There's beautiful scenery, waterfalls on both sides, all along the way. It goes up to the top of the mountain, which is 2,800 feet above sea level. Pauses there briefly, and along the way, it stops briefly to allow guests to get out and take pictures of a huge waterfall, which falls 738 feet. I don't know if I can pronounce the name of it properly. I think it's Klossafossen. There it is. There's pictures of it. It's pretty spectacular, and you can hear it before you get to it. The train ride is 12.5 miles long, and it lasts about an hour each direction. The next stop is Geiranger, and the deep blue Geiranger Fjord is surrounded by majestic snow-covered mountain peaks, wild waterfalls, lush green vegetation, and plenty of impressive waterfalls there too. The cruise line has a tour to the top of the mountain or to Eagle's Bend, so you can see the Seven Sisters waterfall, but not both. I found a tour that does do both. It'll take you to the top of the mountain and Eagle's Bend, which you see there. Those people on the balcony can look to the left and see the mountain and see the village. If they look to the right, they see the Seven Sisters waterfall. It's very impressive. That's the Seven Sisters off to the right there. When you're up at the top of the mountain, you're pretty high up there. It's a great view, and from the top you can see the fjord, you can see the village, and the blue arrows pointing to Eagle's Bend. The next stop is in Ålesund, which is a beautiful little city sitting on islands. Reminds me of Venice in a way, with all the canals running in between the buildings. It was built in the Art Nouveau style and is very pretty. One of the main attractions is the bus tour to Trollstigen, which follows the path of the trolls, and it goes over a lot of crossbacks, switchbacks up the mountain, beautiful waterfalls. You can hear that waterfall before you get to it. There's a hop-on, hop-off bus in the city if you just want to look around the city itself, but it's very beautiful. The next stop after Ålesund is Stavanger. It is also surrounded by beautiful fjords and mountains. It also has some white sand beaches, oddly enough. It's a former European capital of culture, and has an impressive assortment of museums, restaurants, shopping. One of the prettier parts of town is Gamla Stavanger, which is the old part of town. It has immaculate cobblestone streets that are lined with Europe's best preserved settlement of wooden houses, consisting of more than 170 of these little white wooden homes. There is a beautiful tropical garden, oddly enough, called Fjord and Fjords. Reminds you of Florida almost. The Pulpit Rock is another one of their big attractions. You can go on a tour to the top of that thing, but it involves quite a hike, and I think we're going to skip it. We're going to take the boat tour and look at it from this vantage point, from the water looking up. After that, we'll be cruising back to Southampton, and from there we'll board the airplane and fly back to Orlando. We hope you can join us. We've negotiated some great pricing, and there's some good amenities, so we hope you can join us. Once again, the dates on this cruise are September the 1st through 9, 2018. The Choose 2 of these 4 amenities offer expires January the 31st. I'm not sure what they'll replace it with. It may be better, may be worse. But this particular offer does expire January the 31st. Pricing on the cruise itself is pretty stable for the time being. So if you'd like to go, get in touch and I will get you set up.